Blizzard.
Wow. Welcome back to Dusted Gamers. This is Death of Superman. Not Death of Superman. Oh, this is Death of Superman.
Is it really?
That's the video game. This is Batman vs. Superman, Episode 2. I think it's the Death and Return of Superman. Blake's going to be playing this on the Super Nintendo.
Never played this game before.
I actually haven't played it either.
Okay.
So I don't have anything to give to you.
Peaceful summer night.
It wasn't rated.
Suddenly.
It wasn't rated pretty terrible at all. So
a complete power failure.
I want to play the Superman 64 game. That's supposed to be the worst thing
deep
ever.
inside the Metropolitan Power Plant, the underworld cell, right there.
But getting hooked up to Nintendo 64 was kind of complicated right now, so I didn't want to bother. Superman! It's classic looking Superman. That's my Superman. Got the curls in his hair.
His S stands for Superman, not
So,
Hope.
One of the reasons why I was already going into this movie just negative was I knew it had featured Doomsday in the Death of Superman plotline.
What? Why? Okay.
It's like a Streets of Rage, beat 'em up. You move up and down, beat the shit out of people.
It's being janky.
But
shoehorned. Not even in it. It's shoehorned in it.
which I thought was stupid. The Death of Superman was one of the major things in 90s comics. I mean, it was the major thing in 90s comics. I mean, it still, I think, one of the all-time greatest selling comic books of all time.
Second.
It's
Killing Joke's #1, I think.
Killing Joke's graphic novel. So,
oh, okay.
I mean, that black plastic black bag it comes in with the amazing bloody Superman logo is one of the coolest iconic things.
I can fly.
So it's like Streets of Rage, except you can fly.
And I can shoot.
And he looks really disturbing when he walks. So the funny thing is, when I first saw Doomsday, the first thing I thought Quasimodo, but then I realized as I was driving home that it reminded me of another Zack Snyder movie. It reminded me of the Hunchback from 300.
Oh my god, it did.
They both look like hunchbacks covered in just testicles.
I thought it reminded
cancer
me of
hunchbacks.
Gollum,
but he's way bigger. Gollum's tiny little creature.
Well, the Hunchback was too.
No, the Hunchback's huge, especially the 300 one. The Hunchback's big, strong guy. Carries a girl around on him. Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's a big fucking guy. Gollum's a little bitty, monkey looking dude. What are you doing?
Trying to
fly over
fly
it?
again.
There's a Superman symbol you can pick up on the ground too.
There we go. Oh! You fucking kidding.
That was awesome. Totally worth it. Man, this Superman looks really weird. Oh man.
This game's a little harder than you think it would be.
Oh god. So Jesse Eisenberg was crazy. Doomsday was squashed in. Wonder Woman was kind of cool. I know everybody, when that movie came out, everybody's like, the Wonder Woman was cool. I was like, yeah.
She's hot.
I thought the Flash stuff was really weird, especially the weird time traveling dream sequence thing.
Well, I mean, that Flash does that.
General,
that's a huge Flash thing.
Yeah, but Flash doesn't EMP the shit out of entire convenience stores when he uses his power like they show in that. The guy is a functioning superhero. He's not just electric bolting everything in his area every time he moves. I hated that. It was just done stupidly. Just like the I already hate the whole Batman falls into a hole and sees the bats thing. But this movie took it up a notch by making it a dream sequence where he floats into the air, which was so dumb and seemed like it was taking forever to. It was you could get a good 10 what the fucks in watching him float up.
What the hell?
I don't even know what you're fighting here.
I'm fighting Tick.
You're fighting a tick. And you're this guy with the fucking gun. just kind of casually walks in. It's Eeyore, but it's an Igor. All right.
That's how I did that.
Oh man.
This-
And then the iconic scene from they show on all the commercials where Superman like flies into the bunkers is another, ends up being a dream sequence. Part of that whole Batman Desert Storm, everybody dies, bugs in the air.
Mad Max.
Which is the Batman Mad Max, which is another scene where like you have a good 4 minutes of just going, what the fuck is going on right now? This is crazy.
Well, what pisses me off too about the dream sequence is they don't make any sense. They're unnecessary. They aren't ever explained in the movie.
I'm still not entirely sure what was going on with that
it's
one.
never explained.
That one where he's in the future or whatever. The fucking oh man, I just totally lost my memory. When they find Batman down in the cellar, and he's like attached to the wall, that was hilarious looking.
Yeah,
like, that looked like
where he
something,
scurries off the side of the wall. That
when he was just like stuck to the wall. Like to me, that's the type of thing you put in a Pete Holmes Batman skit, where he's like, "You can't see me, I'm stuck to the wall." Like it was so shockingly visually dumb looking. I used to be a huge, I wouldn't say huge because he only did like a couple movies, but I was kind of a Zack Snyder fan when he first kind of broke out on the scene, because he did like the remake of Dawn of the Dead, which is pretty cool, and then 300's amazing. He toned down his style a little bit for this one. He didn't do any like obsessive ramping with his,
the dream
300
sequences.
the 300. He also didn't do any crazy like montage music videos like he used to do.
Well, he did the one whenever the Doomsday fight starts.
Yeah, but even that wasn't like a song you recognize. He's
he's
really hard about doing. He does like, oh god, I know this song. Is he really using this song for a montage? Like he did that to death in that fucking
300.
No,
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch movies, like nonstop dream sequence music videos.
Yeah, but that's how that is.
But he did Dawn of the Dead and 300 the same way. Dawn of the Dead has like a whole opening montage, which is basically a music video for fucking, the song being played.
Okay, so the falling rocks trying to hit Superman are the dumbest thing ever.
And the problem with every Superman video game is he's supposed to be like all powerful, and then you basically have him getting beat up by these like chumps.
If he's all powerful, he's not all good.
Right. Oh, that's another thing that was terrible about this movie, man. It was full. Like, usually these big blockbuster movies are full of, like, one-liners that are fun, memorable, catchy, hilarious joke. This movie was full of one-liners that were, like, attempts at being, like, insightful, but were just really, like, what the fuck were you trying to say? Type of one-liners. Like, they look like the type of stupid one-liners that would be on, like, a black and white photo, like, on Facebook. Like,
well,
you can't be like, if God is all good. What was it? If God is all good, he can't. Or if he can't be all powerful.
If he's all powerful, he can't be all good. I was totally on board with that.
Then it was if
he's all good, he can't be all powerful. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't feel like a direct correlation.
And it's not even just Jesse Eisenberg's fucking weird quotes, which there's tons of. I'm pretty sure 10% of the dialogue he spews out in this movie, I just was like, what? What did he just say? And they seem like they're attempts to be like intellectual, but they're all really dumb. But even Batman has a few that are just like, did he really just say that?
Yeah, but Batman always does. Even in the comic books, Batman's kind of like the.
But like the movie's full of like those where it's just like, huh?
And everything the senator says just comes off like uneducated.
And Alfred being seemed way too young. The fact that this Batman's supposed to be around for 20 years when we meet him seemed really weird. Like, this is Batman in progress.
Well, see, what it is, too, is from what I have heard and have become to known is the Nolan-verse isn't completely separate. Like, you kind of just infer the events from the Nolan-verse happened.
But even then...
Because, like, the mansion's burned down. Like, you see the mansion being burnt down already.
But even then, I mean, they ended up the Nolan verse with Batman being like on the run and shit, and then Robin. So like we lose a bunch of time.
Right. You lose about 10 years. We
lose so much time in between him, and then like Alfred's like aged in reverse.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just Alfred didn't come off as a guy who's been a butler for Batman for already 20 years. You know what I mean? Or like,
well,
and we're talking Batman for 20 years, not just the kid didn't like have the trauma and then suddenly became Batman. There's a growing up period he had to do.
I figured it out. Alfred would have been like 20 years old when his parents died. That means billionaire parents left 20-year-old kid in charge of a billionaire.
And it always made sense that, like, oh, good. It always made sense to me that Alfred would have been his family's butlers for, like, a long time, so he'd be quite a bit older.
Yeah.
Like, you would think he would already be 40 or so when the parents died.
I mean, at the very least, 30.
Right? Like, I don't know, man. Everything about it was just a train wreck. It was a train wreck of a movie.
And the thing is, like, so many of the scenes you're like, oh, that was so close. Like...
The fucking, all the kryptonite stuff, like the kryptonite gas canister, and then like the kryptonite rod, and then she throws the rod into the water. You're like, why would you do that?
It's a setup for a punchline.
Like, why didn't you keep that or get rid of it somewhere a little bit safer? I mean, they found it in the bottom of an ocean, and she threw it in the bottom of a sewer that she just happened to be around.
It was part of the house was. These guys are annoying.
They look like they're straight out of Street Fighter. I mean, not Street Fighter.
There we go. Boom!
Straight out of Streets of Rage. Like, they're totally just punks. Like, erotic-looking punks.
This game is annoyingly
their chest, out and everything. Batman looks Superman looks really weird when he's walking forward. Like, his walking animation's awkward.
It's annoyingly cheap. Like, the things just kind of pop out and hit you.
Yeah. Trying to catch you off guard. They're rolling around Mad Max style with some shotguns.
It's that chainsaw.
You already got farther in this game than I did in my games. That's good.
There we go.
I like that Molotov did nothing when it hits you. He lights the bottle and chucks it at you. It's just like spark on your head. Pop. Oh man. So I you knew it got bad reviews.
I wanted to
You were already mad about it, and then you went out and bought it on Blu-ray extended.
And I watched. I guess this is the 4th time I've watched this movie.
That's funny.
You know, the extended version I don't hate. I mean, the regular version is awful. Like there was
you paused it halfway through the movie, and I looked at the time and was like, oh no.
Yeah, you got up to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
it was right when something happened. And
it was like, there's 2 hours left of this movie? And then to make worse, you guys had an hour left, and you're like, hey, we're eating Italian food. And I was like,
well, that wasn't my fault.
I guess I'm going to watch this. I literally, if we weren't going to record these videos afterwards, I probably would have abandoned the movie right there and just gone and got food.
Right.
Like,
well, if we weren't going to have to record these videos tonight, I would have been like, all right, let's pause this and let's go meet for food. Oh, this is annoying.
Is this the second time you're fighting Doomsday?
No, the other guy was not Doomsday.
Who's the other guy? This guy looks exactly the same. Some random guy. With the rock sticking out of him?
Or something.
Ah. This would be awesome if you died right here and then had to come back. Oh, alright, we have a little bit of time. The reason I'm mad about Doomsday, other than the fact that they shoehorned it in, is in the original comic book, Doomsday kind of creeps up on him as a powerful entity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's multiple comics leading up to him. He's just kind of doing his thing. He's just, wreaking havoc across the land. Nobody knows how powerful he is. And that sense of not knowing that it's, it really as dangerous as he is, and then the superheroes keep jumping in, trying to save it, trying to, kill it, end its rampage and everything.
Right.
And then nothing works. And then eventually, like the unspeakable ends up happening and Superman dies at the end of it. It's just that kind of way it's like a tragedy. Like, it hits differently, a lot differently than the way the movie tried to portray. Like, the movie, like, they know this guy's like, he's like, he keeps getting stronger, and they're fighting him. But it's not like Superman's involved. I mean, he's, like, involved from the beginning, you know?
Right. It's
just the way that the Doomsday is presented in the comic book is just such a different vibe. And I knew when I saw the trailers for the movie that they weren't going to capture that. Like, it's so weird in the comic books. People keep trying to fight him all over the place. I think at the beginning, Superman's off dicking around with something else. Like, he's not even involved with Doomsday.
I like how Batman is basically completely useless in the last fight, except for showing up and, like...
Well, he does hit him with another canister.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, except for that.
He keeps him busy while Superman's off trying to retrieve his girlfriend.
But all he did was stick everything else in harm's way by bringing him back to the city.
Well, he actually brought him back to the... See, I thought the same thing. Port. Well, he brought him back to his little fight club area that he had already set up for Superman. Like, that's what he did. He ended up bringing him right back there. Because that's where he planned to take on Superman in that same spot. Because he knew nobody was there.
Oh, so another thing that was really annoying was... And I didn't catch this the first 2 times. Because it's kind of a funny line when Superman goes, "Is she with you?" And then Batman was like, "I was going to ask the same thing."
Which is a cute one-liner for, like...
Which, it was funny
like,
and cool.
This newspaper's on point, dude. It's like, Doomsday's here!
Right. And it was funny.
They had all day to know this shit's coming.
And it's funny and cool, but it's like...
There's a lot of newsstands in this fucking city.
It's like... Batman knew...
You can fucking mail some shit like every 3 blocks.
Batman knew who Wonder Woman was. He sent her a file going, "I know who you are," basically. I mean, it said, "Who are you?"
I thought it was weird that they showed the scene where she read the file, and then, like, the very next sequence with her, she's, like, on a plane to leave. She's like, it's like, okay, they know about all these secret identities. I got places to be. I'm out of here. She takes a long time to get involved, too. Like, that fucking whole, like, park is, like, lighting up with electricity, and it's like, yeah, you know what? I think I got a flight to catch. All right. So that was Batman vs Superman.
I kind of want to keep playing this.
You can keep playing it. I'm not gonna keep talking about this movie.
We can talk about the game.
We'll see you next time.